Hello, everyone. Hi there. As you're all logging into this webinar, please let me introduce myself. My name is Dante Digori, CFP Professional and the CEO of the Financial Planning Standards Board. I warmly welcome you wherever you are around the world to this CFP Professional webinar, How to Elevate Your Financial Planning Practice. For those of you that don't know, the Financial Planning Standards Board is the international body for setting standards in financial planning and the global owner of the CFP certification marks. Many of you are CFP professionals who are joining today. We have over 1,900 individuals who have registered for this webinar, either turning up live or via recording. But did you know you're amongst 223,700 CFP professionals globally across 27 territories? It's fantastic to have you all. And in fact, in today's webinar, we have interest from over 39 countries, which is amazing. The Financial Planning Standards Board, as I mentioned, is the international body for setting financial planning standards. We'll be celebrating 20 years of its role in the international arena for financial planning. And we'll be looking to celebrate with all the affiliate territories who many of you have obtained your certification from that are licensed through FPSB to issue the certification marks. And we look forward to engaging with many of you more so over the course of this year with other activities. If I could also just remind everyone in terms of the webinar itself, for those of you interested in potentially obtaining CPD, continuing professional development, or CE points in respect to this session, please refer back to your affiliate territories in respect to the opportunity for CPD credits. And if you've given us permission in respect to that, we will share that your information with your local affiliate in respect to any CPD opportunities awarded by your territory. Also a reminder that this webinar is copyrighted to FPSB, and if you wish to use it or share it, please reach out and seek permission with us. During the webinar, excitingly, for those of you across many different countries, there are captions and translation. So you can turn on captions and live translation via the Show Captions button at the bottom of your screen. Also, in respect to the panel session itself, you may wish to ask a question. So you can post a question in the Q&A and the panel will look to respond to as many questions as possible at the end of the program. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our host for this panel, Andrea Middel, a CFP professional from the Netherlands, who will be joining us. And amongst many things, Andrea is the owner of her own advisory practice, Durf Financial Planners, and she commenced that in 2006. And Andrea is also regularly plays a role in her local pensions fund board and involved in the financial planning scene, obviously in the Netherlands, but so too she's involved on the international stage. And I'm pleased to inform you that she is currently our chair-elect of the FPSB Board of Directors. Andrea is a passionate CFP professional, a passionate individual when it comes to financial planning advice for their clients. And I think she's a perfect person to lead and moderate this panel. And so I hand you over into her capable hands. Please enjoy this webinar. Thank you. Over to you, Andrea.
Thanks to you, Dante. And it's really a pleasure to be the moderator of this webinar with three passionate certified financial planners from different regions in the world. And it's great to know that we are with almost 2,000 listeners from almost 40 countries. So it's I'll be very aware of the fact that we have an international profession which is standardized by FPSB. Before we start with some practice sharing, I would like to introduce myself briefly and introduce also our guest speakers of today. Starting with myself, as Dante already mentioned, I'm running my own small firm in the Netherlands, in the center of the Netherlands. We are with 3 certified financial planners in our firm called Durf Financial Planners, well pronounced Dante in Dutch. It's just a small firm. It's a fee-only firm. We do not sell financial products. We have no assets under management. We just charge an hourly fee to our clients. We have mainly 2 kinds of services. The first service that we offer is the holistic financial planning. And the group that we service is more the people who has complex financial situations or feel like they have a complex financial situation. It's not up to us to say it's complex. It's holistic. It's a relation for more years, and that's the first part of our service. The second part of the service we offer is more, let me say, financial planning light. It's more pension planning, and we offer it to firms or employers. They hire us to give pension planning advice to their employees, and we go to a firm or employees come to our office to give retirement advice. Well, that's maybe in short something about Durf Financial Planners and our way we work. And then I would like to introduce the guest speakers of today. First of all, we have Eunice Chen. She's from Malaysia, and she works at one of the largest banks in Asia, Maybank. She is a strategic leader in financial business, and she has an impressive track record in a variety of disciplines and markets. Reading her profile, it's about humanizing banking service, customer interest first, customer experience, but also about tech solutions or digital wealth planning. She also is involved with the development of young talents, and she shares her knowledge and skills to benefit the broader Malaysian community, especially the youth. So Eunice brings the corporate big bank perspective into this webinar. And the second speaker we have, they are going to introduce themselves further later, but the second speaker is Kirsty Scully. She is from South Africa. She is a senior financial planner at Core Wealth Advisory Services South Africa. She has more than 30 years of experience. Seeing her, we can hardly believe it's more than 30 years. And she is an author of the book Financial Planning Conversations. She's international recognized speaker and is in South Africa a well-known TV and radio personality when it comes to talking about financial issues. Beside her work as a financial planner, she's chairperson of the Financial Planning Institute of Southern Africa, which is the affiliate organization of FPSB. Welcome, Eunice. Welcome, Kirsty. And maybe, Eunice, I hand it over to you to give a brief introduction about your role at Maybank.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for the introductions. Hello, everyone. I'm Eunice. I'm actually the Senior Executive Vice President and Head of Retail Wealth Management for Maybank Malaysia. I'm responsible for the strategic business development of wealth management franchise across the segment through the Premier and Privileged Banking platform. So I'm overseeing a team of approximately 1,000 wealth managers and specialists. I'm also in charge of the young talent development pipelines, professional certifications, and licensing. So the organizations that I'm with, Maybank, is the largest financial services group in Malaysia, and also the largest company by market capitalizations on the Malaysian Stock Exchange. Our missions of humanizing financial services guides us in making financial services simple, intuitive, and accessible, building trusted partnership for a sustainable future together. And we treat everyone with respect, dignity, fairness, and integrity. We have over 43,000 dedicated Maybankers globally, empowered by our core values and a footprint in 18 countries. Maybank ranked the top 4 banks in ASEAN by the total assets and has a strong presence across the 10 ASEAN countries, including Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and Cambodia. So in Malaysia, we are the largest market leader in internet and mobile banking, highlighting our commitments to innovation and serving our clients' evolving needs in the community we serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Eunice, for your introduction. Kirsty, I will hand it over to you to introduce yourself.
Thanks so much, Andrea. So you've all heard I'm a certified financial planner. I'm one of the senior financial planners. I don't know if that's by age or number of years or what it is, but I'm considered to be one of the senior financial planners at Core Wealth Advisory Services. We are a small to medium-sized financial planning company based in Cape Town, although we do have branches around South Africa and in fact one overseas. And so what we are is totally independent. So we are not tied at all to any of the life assurance companies. We are absolutely independent, and we pride ourselves in that independence. And we are able to offer our clients a very holistic way of looking at financial planning. We're really looking at all aspects of financial planning. And for me, my role, I see my role essentially as being there to give my clients advice. Once I've given them the advice, they can do with it what they like, and or otherwise, they can actually come back to us and say, please implement it as well. And we are able to also implement the advice. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirsty. It's a pleasure to have you both here, and from all different perspectives, the big bank, the small, medium financial planning practice, and my small firm. So I think we can share a lot of experiences. The first question I have is the first one's for you, Kirsty. It's what is the number one thing you or your firm have implemented that has made the biggest difference to your practice and or the client experience?
Yeah, I mean, we've implemented so many things which have really been beneficial, but I'm going to say absolute number one is the fact that we brought in an operations manager. And that manager on a fairly senior level is there to run the business itself, as opposed to us as financial planners doing financial planning advice. So really, he is there from a few different aspects. To look at from an administration perspective, so he runs the admin team. He's there to ensure that the team is providing us with the right documents for perhaps new business, for existing business, for changes for clients, just to ensure that that sort of thing is running smoothly. He's also there to ensure that the compliance is up to date. Because if you think about it, for a financial planning practice, our biggest risk, if I can call it that we lose our license. So he is there to ensure that compliance is absolutely up to date and that we are doing the right thing from a legal framework perspective when it comes to advising clients. He's also there to manage all our staff. So in other words, all the administration staff, he's there to ensure that he knows what's going on, he knows who's working when, he knows who's taking leave or who's on sick leave, that sort of thing. So it takes away that burden as such from the financial planning team so that they can get on with doing exactly what they need to do. Something else that he does is he runs our website. He also runs our social media pages and keeps us really at the top of clients or prospective clients' awareness from that sort of perspective. And again, it's leaving the financial planners to do exactly what they do best, and that is financial planning.
Thank you, Kirsty. And maybe I'll echo to that, because we have just a small firm with 3 financial planners, and I'm almost jealous to have someone for the operational assistance, but we don't have it yet. But what we did is describing our process, our customer journey in very detailed steps. So when we look at the financial planning process, it's 6 big steps, from establishing a new relation until monitoring and everything in between. And we described that 6 steps in about 50 mini little steps. And for every step, we described carefully what's happening, what's the action that we take, what is the desired customer experience? That's the most important question. And what are the risks? So by describing our customer journey step by step and very carefully, we make sure that one, the customer experience is prior to everything else, and two is that the three of us all have the same process. So when a new client comes in, it doesn't matter if he meets me or one of my colleagues. We are different persons, of course, but our approach is in every customer journey the same, and it's carefully described, and we evaluate that every year. So that's maybe for us the thing we have implemented that made a big difference to have a recognizable DURF approach, and I think that's I would recommend to more small firms to make a step like that. And Eunice, when you I have a question for you. When you engage with clients in the financial planning process, what tools or technologies have you found most beneficial to increasing efficiency while also enhancing the client experience?
Andrea, so while leveraging on the technology can actually help us to increase our efficiency, I have to acknowledge that the physical presence and the human interactions remain as very key for us to instill a sense of trust with our clients. So during and post-pandemic, we have observed a significant increase in the self-service interactions. So in response to the changing landscape of emerging demands and clients' preferences, we actually have designed our very first digital center with the aim to reshape the banking by performing more financial planning advisory functions that really aim to deliver the universal banking solutions to our clients. So this is to transform our bankers into conversational partners and advisors. So this digital concept gives our clients a high-touch experience where we can create emotional connections between our clients, wealth managers, and also our specialists to ensure the personalized assistance. And also, we are actually looking at this digital center as the gateway to financial advisory. So it positioned as an advisory knowledge center, delivering personalized and tailored solutions that fulfill our clients' needs and objectives. So in this type of environment, our clients will be able to actually engage our investment specialists either in person or virtually. So at the same time, we also equip our wealth managers with the Bionic Advisory tool. It is a digital tool that provides a holistic view of our clients' financial net worth and enable our wealth managers to be able to conduct financial planning efficiently with our clients. So moving forward, we definitely will continue to leverage on the technology to increase the operational efficiency, and this will help us to deepen our clients' relationship. And we believe that this will continue to create a positive experience that impactful to our clients' financial life advisory journey.
Thank you, Eunice. And I'm impressed to hear that many people think when we step forward with technology or digital advice, people are afraid or that it will be less personal. But I hear what you say is that you use the technology to keep it human and personal. Do I understand it right?
Yes, that's right. So I think the human element is very important, and the digital tools is actually help us to facilitate the efficiency of the turnaround times and probably fast access of information.
Yeah, very good. So that's not opposite, the digital and tech and personal. It's combined. It's combined. Thank you for your answer, Eunice. Kirsty, when you work on a development of a financial plan, how much time do you spend on it, and how do you balance with efficiency with holistic service?
The short answer to that is I spend a very long time on a financial plan. So if I look at it, is it basically what I do is I break it down. The client will phone in and will ask to come and see me. and I'll set up the time. And that first appointment is generally at least 2 hours. And the reason why it's so long is because at that stage, I'm getting to know that person. I've really got to know a lot about them. I've got to understand them. And I've got to make that decision. Is this somebody that I'm prepared to work with? Is it somebody that I can help? At the same time, they need to decide, are they happy to work with me? So there's that first aspect that comes into it. The other reason why is it's such a long time. I always joke with people. I say, I even get to know the name of the dog during that first appointment. And the reason for that is because quite often people will want to put something into their wills about their fur children, about their pets. And so literally I get to know about the name of the dog, or even things like I get to know about what subjects are the children doing at school, because that is going to give me a very good indication of what they perhaps will study later on in life. And of course, then I've got to work on the financial planning aspects of sending the children to university. So there's a lot of information that I'm requesting in that first meeting. So it's a very long time. Once we finish that meeting, it's then time for me to get together with essentially the rest of my team. And there the rest of the team comes in, and the asset managers, they do some work on the underlying investments. Paraplanner does some work on other aspects. The administration does other work. So it does take a long time, and probably a financial needs analysis, I would say, to answer your question, takes about 20 to 25 hours for the average client. And that is not a very complex client. That is a fairly average client. Now, I'm a fee-based financial planner. So therefore, people come to see me, they pay a fee for me to give them advice. Okay. And that second meeting is when I'm going to start going through the process of giving them advice. And that meeting normally takes, probably at least 2 hours. Once we've completed that meeting and I've given the clients the advice, clients then have the choice to say, right, I'm going to take this, I'm going to implement it somewhere else. But I'm going to say that 99% of them say to me then, in Core Wealth, please implement this. We build that relationship, they've got a feeling of trust, they understand me, and then we can actually put it exactly into place, which is something that we are good at doing.
Well, thank you. That's a recognizable answer, because what we do is also a fee only. And I think talking about the holistic financial planning, it's also an average about 20 hours for a first financial plan, and later on there is a relation, and we charge just the time spent. But I was curious, Kirsty, you said that your first meeting is about 2 hours. What's the moment when the charging the fee starts? Is that after that first meeting, or is there a service agreement before that first meeting?
No, I don't charge for the first meeting. My first meeting is complimentary. It's just been my choice, the way I've chosen to do it. I find that people need to get to know me. They need to understand the complexity of financial planning. Quite often people will come into the first meeting and they literally, by the time they leave, they go, wow, I never thought we were going to discuss my will. I never thought we were going to discuss moving into a retirement village later on in life. They don't realize how complex financial planning is. So if I just told them before they came to see me what that total cost is going to be, they're going to think, oh, that sounds like a lot of money. Once we've been through that first meeting, they realize why they need it. That is why they're prepared to pay for it.
Yeah, thank you. That's very clear. And for that's very comparable with what we do in our holistic planning. When we offer the pension planning to firms, I said it's financial planning light. That's just just the retirement advice. And we found out that we cannot charge 20 hours because an employer don't want to pay for that kind of advice. They say, we will not pay for advice about your will or about your house or etc. We pay for advice. That's the employee benefit. It's the pension. And so we can do a pension plan in 5 hours. So that's very efficient process. And it's affordable for an employer to pay for that. So it's another way. And Eunice, in what way do you prioritize deepening client relationships, and what strategies have you found most effective in establishing client relationships and building trust?
In order to deepen our relationship with our clients, First of all, I always believe that we need to build trust. Trust is very important. So trust is to be earned, and it takes time to actually for us to build a strong client's relationship. As a financial professional, I believe that our successes actually hinges on credibility. So to acquire a new client and retain the existing, so it is important to build a strong foundations of trust and credibility. So clients will want to have assurance of their financial goals and wealth that are entrusted in the capable hands. So our experience, our qualifications, our robust track record and reputations will naturally draw clients towards our service. So we have to position ourselves as a credible expert. We will become a trusted advisor as they seek for their financial needs. And I also believe that we need to reinforce our value propositions and constantly demonstrate our expertise and professionalism to ensure the client satisfaction. So I always know that a happy client is likely to be our ambassador and refer us to their network of friends. And this will create a positive cycle of growth in our business. Some of the strategies I commonly use to deepen the relationship with my clients. First of all, be authentic, I think. Be authentic, open, and honest with our clients. Highlight the pertinent information and be truthful to them. So I always believe in a hot conversation. Hot means honest, open, and trusting with our clients. So this will lead eventually to deepen our clients' relationship. And have to be an active listener. Ask questions and probe deeper to uncover the needs sometimes they might not even aware of. Then we can arm with our network of information and present our proposal to serve their best interests. Typically, our clients will entrusted the wealth to us for us to manage. So this will require the value of integrity, transparency, and efficiency. So lean on this value, I believe that we can guide our business operations and establish consistency to strengthen the trust with our clients. Another point is regular engagements and consistent communications with our clients. I always make it a point to call minimum 3 to 5 clients daily. So even if it's just to see how they are doing, let them know that I'm with them all the time and show them that I care and let them know that I have their best interest in mind. So last but not least, always respond to our clients' call diligently and urgently, right? Always handle their calls with urgency, and diligent follow through is crucial.
Thank you very much, Eunice. And it's for me great to hear that the differences between a big, large bank in Asia, a medium financial planning office in South Africa, and a small firm in the Netherlands, it's a lot of things are the same. It's about building a relation. It's about honesty, open, trusting. I like the hot you mentioned, and the trust is so important. And paying attention to your clients. It's all over the world, no matter from what firm you work with clients. It's about trust and being open and authentic. So thank you very much for that answer. I really appreciate that. Kirsty, does your practice specialize in certain niches or markets? And if so, how did you decide on that market? And what have you found most effective for attracting clients who are the best fit for your firm?
For me, it wasn't planned, but I tend to work predominantly with medical doctors. And as I say, it wasn't planned at all. But when I first started, it was a case of, well, how am I going to find clients? So I looked at my own personal social circle, and I tend to, socialize with a lot of doctors. And consequently, they started asking me about the practice, what we do, and all that sort of thing. And I got clients that way. So, and for me, it was a real perfect fit, because if I think about it, the medical profession is probably the most indispensable profession within the world. We all need doctors. I'm going to argue the financial planning profession is therefore second most indispensable profession within the world. So I think we work very well together. If you think about it, a doctor is there to help us to ensure that we live a long and sustainable life. A financial planner is there to ensure that we can afford to live a long and sustainable life. So that is the reason why I work particularly well with doctors. I think for those people who are really looking to work out, where is my client base? how can I develop a client base? I think you've got to look at yourself first. What is your story? What's your story in life? What is, if I think about it, what is your narrative? Okay, so what is the story that has resonated with you? Or what experience have you had in life? For example, I was widowed at a very young age. I was about 28 years old when I was widowed, and that taught me become absolutely financially independent. And it made me realize the absolute importance for women be financially independent. So that is something that I've pushed quite hard with women. And consequently, I've ended up with having a lot of women who've come to see me because they've realized how important it is that women are absolutely financially independent. So that's another way to find a client base.
Well, thank you, Kirsty, and also thank you for sharing that personal story. And I think that relates also to what Eunice just mentioned, that it's being authentic to your clients. So your history, your own story, your own narrative says a lot about where is your professional career going. So thanks for sharing that. And Eunice, what about you and Maybank? Do you specialize in certain niches or markets?
I believe in, we actually believe in the customer segmentation strategies, as we have a large client base. So it is very important for us to actually segmentize our clients. So it is more curtailed to meet our clients' needs. So when we segmenting our client base the right way, we will be able to actually provide a more targeted go-to-market approach to our clients. So this can increase the probabilities of acquisitions of the new clients and also improve the successful conversions as well. So we leverage on the customer relationship management tools for segmenting our client base into high net worth, affluent, emerging affluent, as well as the mass customer. So each of these segments we were designated to serve with a platform, and we assign designated wealth managers, except for the mass segment, which will be on the digital channels. So we segmentize our clients according to their persona and preferences as they journey through across the different life stages. We also established the coverage model in 3 prongs to serve our clients who prefer to have high, medium, and low touch customer experience, so that clients are actually accorded with different suites of value propositions to meet their financial preferences and expectations. So ultimately, we have to be proactive to identify the opportunities and creating value to stay relevant to our clients in the community that we serve. Yeah.
Thank you, Eunice. And I fully understand that's when you work in such a large bank, you have to prioritize and make segments. So it's good to hear about that. When in our firm we do not have a certain target group, but we see that we have many entrepreneurs coming to our firm, and it's and what we also see is that we surveyed the last years, where do new clients come from, and we found out that 65% of our clients came by referral, and 40% was referred by another professional, a notary, an accountant, a mortgage advisor, or whatever, and 25% was referred by other clients. So we found out that, and that's a natural process, and it's like what you said, Kirsty, it's not an intention to go a certain way, but it's you move in a certain way because clients refer other clients, and notaries refer certain clients, and when we're doing our job very good, new clients come with similar questions. So I think that's what we found out, and that was also an important lesson for us, that asking for referrals or reviews is very helpful in attracting new clients. So just saying to clients who are satisfied, well, thank you for saying to me that you're satisfied, but you can also tell it to your neighbor or your friend, and that's helpful to grow your business. And maybe that's an advice for attendees who are listening or want to come to the profession.
So I think you're absolutely right there, you know, Andrea, and I see that quite often. You know, when clients come in to see me, as they leave, they say, "Oh, thank you, this has been so good." I have an automatic retort: don't tell me, tell your friends.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the way that we can actually enhance ourselves, actually get new clients to come in. But also, don't forget to look at social media. Social media is fantastic with actually bringing in new clients. And I definitely think there's definitely opportunity for that there.
Yeah, I fully agree with, and maybe to add to that, Kirsty, what we did for the last about 2 years, every Friday afternoon we post on LinkedIn just a small blog about something in financial planning, and we found out that we get more new clients, not just referring to the blog, but sometimes we thought, well, where does this new client come from? And it was a friend from an old colleague who I didn't see for 10 or 20 years, but he saw me on LinkedIn and being active on LinkedIn, posting every week that blogs. And that's so all that kind, the combination of referrals and being on social media is very helpful to grow your business. And I don't know if you have to add something to that, Eunice. How does Maybank found new clients?
I just resonating with what Kirsty was actually saying, and yours as well, because getting people is just fantastic, right? Satisfying clients, and they can be our ambassador and referring the network of clients or their friends and their business circle to us as well. Yes.
Thank you. And talking to the structuring of your team, Kirsty, can you tell me something about the decisions you made about your team?
Absolutely. So what we've done is we've brought in a whole lot of specialists. So whilst I know I'm talking to a group of certified financial planner professionals, and we have an incredibly broad knowledge of financial planning, we can't know everything about every aspect or keep up to date with absolutely everything. And therefore, we at Core Wealth felt it was important to be able to bring in specialists. So, for example, I specialize in investments. That's my main focus. I'm not really looking much at it at risk business or anything like that. I'm certainly not looking at healthcare business because my speciality is investments. We have other specialists. For example, we have a healthcare specialist, and she is just there. She's also a certified financial planner, but she is just there to specifically give advice on different medical schemes, different types of gap cover that our clients need. We also have a tax consultant. So as soon as my client needs a tax return to be submitted, or if they need any help with that, I'll bring the tax consultant in and he will be giving them advice on the tax. We have an accounting specialist. So that would be somebody who can do things like small business accounting. We have a short-term insurance advisor. So in other words, when people need a short-term insurance advice on perhaps their houses, their cars, their businesses, that sort of thing, the specialist there comes in. And of course, we've got an investment team. An investment team works on which are the underlying funds that we should be using specifically for our clients. So they specialize in that. They'll be chartered financial analysts who are actually doing that sort of work. And last but certainly not least, the other specialists that we have are attorneys. We have 2 attorneys who are affiliated with our business, and they are there to ensure that our wills are drafted correctly, that when our clients pass away, that the estates are wound up correctly. They also do conveyancing of properties. When a property gets sold, a client sells a home, for example, they will do the conveyancing to be able to transfer that to the new owner. And then last, what they also do is if there are any contracts that need to be drawn up for our clients, they're there to do that. So in a nutshell, what we're doing is we're creating an absolutely comprehensive financial planning service for our clients, so that our clients come to see us and everything is there under one roof as such, which ensures that our clients are not drifting elsewhere.
Very good. Thank you very much, Kirsty. And it's very clear how you structure your business, your firm, and you said it's a small medium firm, but it's by making specialists and specializing, it's in the client's benefits, I can imagine. And Eunice, I can imagine that for a large bank like Maybank, structuring a team or an organization is very important. Can you share something about that from Maybank?
Sure. One of the impactful decisions in structuring our team is to ensure that our wealth managers are actually the universal banker. They are the single contact point who hosts the relationship with our clients as the connector who connect the clients to our Maybank Group business capabilities. So they are supported by a group of specialists in the areas of investment, insurance, financing, and trust management. to meet the client's expectations. So this is really the team approach that's supported by the specialist advisory model that covering the holistic solutions to meet the diverse needs of the clients. And we believe that another pivotal initiative that we have established is the establishment of our wealth managers development programs, where we recruited and cultivated the young talents to become the deep wealth managers serving the bank's affluent segments of the clients. So the wealth trainees are licensed and equipped with the essential knowledge and skill to intensify the customer centricity by offering both conventional as well as Sharia solutions. So we have successfully nurtured this group of young talents to elevate their career and create a sustainable business for us. So looking ahead, my goal is really to construct a talent pipeline through the CFP certifications to ensure they possess the necessary expertise that needed to provide a comprehensive and ethical financial advisory solution to our clients. So these strategic decisions will eventually collectively contribute to cultivating a dynamic team, a skillful team, thereby driving the success of our wealth management business and beyond.
Thank you, Eunice. And what we see also, and it's organized in just a slightly different way from what Kirsty said, but it's also about specializing and having different roles in a team. And I like also what you thought about the young people and the pipeline of developing talent. And that's great, because what we see, I think, maybe in Europe is that many CFP professionals are getting older. So we can learn maybe from Asia and from Malaysia, how can we attract young people to this profession? And it's by creating a pipeline and a career for a CFP professional. Thank you for sharing that. And maybe just what you said, Kirsty, is that it's difficult. You cannot know everything, and that's, we discussed also in our small firm, how can we organize all the knowledge, because financial planning is quite a knowledge-intense profession, and we cannot know everything. And we are just with the three of us, and I think we know a lot, and we can discuss together, but we know absolutely not everything. And so when you're running a small firm, it's absolutely necessary to have a strong network of professionals. So in our network, we have accountants, tax advisors, notaries, mortgage advisors, investment managers, who we can call or mail or whatever, or refer to when it comes to more detailed questions. And I think for those who prefer to work in a small firm, investigate the network and take care that your network is working with you. I just said that we have a lot of referrals from our network, but at the same time, I learn a lot from my network. When I have a complex tax question and I make a call to a tax advisor to discuss something, I learn. So it's very worthwhile to invest in a strong network.
Yeah, I think there's another part I can also suggest for people if they are trying to work out how to expand it. For example, within risk business. Now, we all know with risk business, when you're dealing with a whole lot of companies, the intricacies of those products is very, very detailed. You know, what each different sort of sickness or income protection can offer. That is an example. So what we've done within our financial planners, we've each got a company. We get to know all the details about that product. So I can go to one of my colleagues and say, tell me, what is company XYZ? What do they do for their income protection? And I can speak to another consultant, one of the other advisors, and ask them, you know, what is that company that they've learned about? And that has also certainly helped us, I must say.
Yeah, great. And so we can learn from each other. So it's a profession where you constantly have to develop and learn. And so never be too arrogant to say, I know it, but just go to someone else or to ask advice or more information. Kirsty, are there other specific strategies or initiatives not yet touched that helped you elevate your financial planning practice?
I think one thing I want to say is clients love personalization. Okay. So for example, I said earlier, a client phones in, they want to come and see me. I'll have a quick discussion with them on the phone, and maybe they'll mention something. Maybe they'll say something like, I've just sold my home. I need to know how to invest this money. Or maybe they'll say to me, I really need to work out how I'm going to save enough money for my children to go to university. I listen to that. And then what I do for that meeting that we're going to have, I draw up an agenda. And there's always an agenda. It's normally got about 10 points on it, but in that agenda, somewhere it will say, we're going to discuss the money from the house, or we're going to discuss about how we're going to have sufficient money for Johnny and Susie to go to university, sort of thing. Clients look at this and go, wow, this is a personalized agenda. They actually are so aware of it, and they feel that personalization. And I think that's really nice. Something else that I find that clients love is they love consistency. So, for example, every time a client is coming into our office, our receptionist will know exactly what that client's name is. So when the client opens the door, she'll say, hi, John. He'll look at her and think, wow, she even knows my name. And consistently, every time he comes in, he is greeted, or she is greeted by their name, and that they absolutely love. And it takes it even a little bit further when we get to things like consistency. When we offer them something like a coffee, we always have a menu. A menu is in our boardrooms. Each boardroom has got a menu which states we offer cappuccino, we offer latte, we offer Earl Grey tea, you name it. And every time they come, they get that menu. And the reason is because I can't offer them a wonderful selection on the first meeting, and the next one, maybe they're lucky if they get water, and the next one we don't offer them anything. They want consistency. And that's one of the things that we do to ensure the consistency. Something else that I find clients absolutely love, if perhaps you've got parking, maybe you've got parking in your building, if you can ensure that you actually personalize their parking bay, and you can literally have a name up there at the front of the parking bay which says Mr. and Mrs. Smith. When Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they drive in, they think that parking bay is just for them. Meantime, we actually change it for every single client. How nice does it feel? There's even a personalized parking bay for you. So those are some of the examples that I think work particularly well in financial planning practices to make our clients feel absolutely special.
Great, yeah. It's about them, so it make it as personal as possible, and that's what I hear Eunice saying also. So it's a red line in our profession. It's about helping people, and wonderful to hear your stories, Kirsty. Maybe some last questions before we go to the Q&A. And Eunice, do you have one actionable takeaway you can share to those who are aspiring to move into or elevate a practice or team at large financial planning firms?
For me, I believe and I practice what I call AAA triumph, the power of being authentic, agile, and adaptable. So in the ever-evolving business environment of a large institutions, it is important that authenticity cannot be understated. So both as individuals and also within a team, authenticity will actually foster trust and collaborations, and creating a foundation for open communications and genuine connections. So a truly authentic individual or team is better to position to embrace agility and adaptability. So these are the essential qualities for navigating through the fast-paced and dynamic business landscape within a large firm. So, and this commitment foster trust and collaborations. So I believe that agility and flexibility will equip us to spot and seize opportunities that presented by the emerging trends that we are actually encounter every now and then. So at a large institutions, it is important to cultivate an enterprise growth mindset for client-centric success. So important for us as a practitioner to give precedence to the client centricity, tailor our approach and strategies to address the diverse needs as well as the goals of our clients. So this will lie in the ethical practices and emphasizing the transparency as well as integrity. So at the large firm like ours, professional practitioners may collaborate and leverage on the wide networks of the resources as well as the expert capabilities. We can share insight, best practices to enhance our client experience. And this will include our cross-functional collaborations across our company. So build a synergized ecosystem to support our clients' long-term financial journeys. So I trust this holistic approach will ensure the continuous improvement and maintenance of our relevance and impact to our clients.
Thank you very much, Eunice. It's wonderful. When I was young and I live in Malaysia, I should come to Maybank, I guess. No, thank you. Kirsty, maybe the same question for you, but then from the perspective of a smaller firm, is there one actionable takeaway you can share for those who are aspiring to move into a smaller firm?
I'm just going to say, I kind of commented on it earlier, but for us, the thing that has been the most help in our business is to bring in an operations manager, because operations manager is there to run the business from a day-to-day perspective, whereas the financial planners are there to do precisely that, financial planning. Because at the end of the day, as a financial planner, we are here not to close a sale, we are here to open a relationship.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Kirsty. We've heard a lot of each other, and thanks for that. And I look at the Q&A because we have questions in our chat box. Here's someone who's asking, do you record your first initial meetings of 2 hours, or do you take notes whilst the client talks? Kirsty, what do you do? Do you record your first meeting?
I actually don't record the meetings, but I know that a lot of my clients will ask their clients permission to actually record the meetings. And what I do is I write notes, but they're quite cryptic notes, if I can call it that. Just sort of one word about this and one word about that, because I try to continue to have eye focus with the clients. So it's really just noting a few different things so that I don't forget, you know, that I must plan for this or I must plan for that when I actually put together the financial needs analysis.
And for you, Eunice, do you make notes or record the first meeting? You are on mute, Eunice.
Sorry. Yes, I do, Andrea. For every meetings that I meet with my clients, I actually have a set of notes. I open a file for the clients. So every time I would know that what was the last conversations with them and how to follow through. If there's any needs of the clients that who require informations, or probably from the expert that we have in the bank, and we will actually connect that together as well. So certainly there is always a follow through to good minutes of the notes that when we meet clients.
That's the same for us. We do not record the meeting, but we make notes. And immediately after the meeting, it's also very cryptic notes during a meeting, but after the meeting, I immediately work on a proposal for a client with a summary of my notes. So that's the moment that I remember everything a client says. There's another question, and maybe it's how do you motivate clients to take action or implement their financial plan? That's is there one of you who would like to answer that? Kirsty, maybe?
I can respond a little bit there. I think that once you've put together a financial needs analysis and you actually go through it with them, it is written in, well, for me, obviously English. It's written in very basic English for them to understand it. I'm not trying to talk over their heads or anything like that. And they get to realize it's a need. And I think that's what's important. That's why it's even called a financial needs analysis. And we go through talking about it as an absolute need. And they then realize they need to go ahead and do this. Granted, there are always going to be people who don't take your advice or take the advice that they're given. They're like ostriches, put their heads in the sand. The point is that most of my clients, I find, understand at the end of our meeting what their need is to solve the solution. And remember that I'm working, and I'm sure most other financial planners are working to work on what the goals are of the client. So actually, quite often, they're quite nice goals to have. It could be maybe traveling once a year. They want to implement that sort of thing because you're focused on exactly what they're looking for.
Thank you, Kirsty. And Eunice, how do you motivate clients to take action?
Same thing as what Kirsty was actually saying. We usually will understand the client's motivations, what is the goals, and understand their challenges. We help them to open up a different pair of lenses for them to see. It is important for them to follow through the process, and the end result and the consequence of that and the outcomes of that, they need to understand that. So we will actually impress upon them that the necessity for them to actually follow through the plan, and they will eventually achieve their goal as they set forth.
Yeah, and that's funny. That's you said about the same. It's when you link the advice to the original objective or goal, it's easier to get a client to action. So that's what we do also. I will have a look at another question. Well, how much have each of you incorporated AI into your practice?
I can answer that. I'm going to say probably not all that much. Maybe I'm a little bit old school here. I do use AI from time to time. For example, I use ChatGPT to maybe sometimes help with perhaps wording on documents. But no, I can't say I've particularly used it all that much more than that.
And for you, Eunice?
So with us, we are actually in progress, embarking the journeys. And we believe digital data, especially the data patterns and the study that we have, will actually give us some trends and will actually give us some clue of certain target segments. What do they actually need? So I believe AI will actually play a big wave in times to come. Certainly, it is actually at a very preliminary stage right now for us. We are starting to embark this journey right now. So hopefully we will actually shed some lights in times to come.
Well, thank you. And we're running a little bit out of time. Just a quick reaction on a nice question that's in the Q&A. What advice would you give the next generation of financial planners to help them get the most out of this profession? Just a quick reaction from you, Kirsty.
I'm going to say, firstly, Rome was not built in a day, as the saying goes. It takes a long time to actually get into a position where it's perhaps financially viable for you to be a financial planner. It doesn't happen overnight, especially if you're working on just the AUM or if you're working on commission. It takes quite a long time. I remember when I left corporate, somebody said to me it was going to take me 3 years to get back to my corporate salary, and it did. It took me about 3 years to get to that. So please don't think it's going to happen overnight. Stick it out, because this is a profession that is fantastic in the long run.
Thank you. Eunice, do you have a quick response to that question?
Yes, for me, I think financial planning starts from self. We have to actually start financial plan ourselves first, right? To all the young people, especially when you first started to get into the corporate world, start the financial planning yourself and build a passion for that. And I'm sure when you experience this, you will actually build a passion towards a career, right? And helping people to achieve the financial independence is actually a joy in life to see. And helping the people in our surrounding to lead a better tomorrow is also a passion.
Thank you, Eunice. And I think I like to echo that, because financial planning is really a meaningful profession. Many people think maybe, well, it's about making the rich ones more rich. And of course, we are talking about returns on the investments and optimization of tax, for example. But in the end, it's about helping people to live the life they want. And if you are a young young adult and searching for a profession, and you want to do something meaningful, and at the same time, like to have to know a lot, because it's quite knowledge intense. But you like the calculations and the knowledge, but you like also having the relation with people and working with people. Then financial planning is a wonderful profession. I would highly recommend everyone to become a CFP professional. Well, time flies when you're having fun. I would like to say thanks to Kirsty and Eunice for being speakers at this webinar. I've learned from you, and maybe what I've learned the most is that we are living in different spots all over the world. We're having different firms, small firm, a big bank, a medium firm. But in the end, financial planning is about helping people, about trust, about being authentic, about being hot. Thank you, Eunice, for that. Honest, open, and trusting. And I think that's what financial planning is about. I would like to thank you. We hope also all the attendees have enjoyed the webinar today. We look forward to conducting additional sessions in the future like this. Thank you for joining. And I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or even good night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for listening to this webinar.